The TechMax Expo 25 is the UK's top tech trade show, bringing together hundreds of IT professionals. It's a great opportunity to strengthen relationships with vendors and distributors while networking with industry leaders. You can explore the latest tech and services for growing your IT business. There is also thousands of pounds of prizes up for grabs. And not only that, it's free to attend the day event. The event takes place on the 27th of June 2025 at Magna Adventure and Science Centre near Meadowhall in Sheffield. Features include a live tech awards ceremony, evening retro entertainment, meeting areas and interactive demos. Can you afford not to be one of the 800 IT professionals who are expected to attend? Registration is now open at tftmax.com. Introducing Gamers Beat Cancer, the UK charity using the power of gaming via the gift of gaming to bring hope and support to cancer fighters everywhere. They provide gaming equipment, build supportive communities, and raise funds for vital cancer charities. Join us in levelling up against cancer. Donate, volunteer, or spread the word today. Visit gamersbeatcancer.co.uk and let's have more game on, not game over.
Sonic, the heart of your system.
The TechMax Expo 25 is the UK's top tech trade show, bringing together hundreds of IT professionals. It's a great opportunity to strengthen relationships with vendors and distributors while networking with industry leaders. You can explore the latest tech and services for growing your IT business. There is also thousands of pounds of prizes up for grabs. And not only that, it's free to attend the day event. The event takes place on the 27th of June 2025 at Magna Adventure and Science Centre near Meadowhall in Sheffield. Features include a live tech awards ceremony, evening retro entertainment, meeting areas and interactive demos. Can you afford not to be one of the 800 IT professionals who are expected to attend? Registration is now open at tftmax.com.
Sonic, the heart of your system.
You're watching Tech Talk, brought to you by Tech for Techs. We're a community that supports independent trade with the help of vendors and distributors. We're live Mondays at 8 p.m. London time, and we will be streaming to Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. You can listen to our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, TuneIn, Player FM, and others. And
hello everyone. Well, this is a live show, and obviously, as you can tell, it is a live show because I'm making mistakes straight out of the bat. So, obviously, this show we've got SPIRE with us. We're going to talk to SPIRE. They're going to tell us about distribution. They're going to tell us about the products they do and different things. And obviously, you've got a Q&A as well, so you can ask them any question you want. So I'm going to stick the chat on now. So hopefully, you'll be able to comment and let us know if you can hear me making lots of mistakes. First of all, we've got Rich Creedy saying evening. We've also got Richard Creedy. I'm guessing it's the same person. We've got GP saying hi, guys. We've got Dan saying evening all. Rich Creedy says, hours early for a change, and Neo Computers is saying evening, everyone. So again, guys, just let us know if you can hear us properly and it sounds okay and there's no audio issues.
Richard Creedy, I may pass out with you being early for once.
Yeah, it makes a change from us having to say you need to tune in earlier.
Yeah.
There we go. So, right, okay, so today we've got SPIRE on the show, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves, all three of them, let them tell you who basically they are and what they do, what their position is and what they actually do at SPIRE, or if they're constantly walking on the beach all day down there. Right, I'll pass you over to Mike first. So, Mike, if you want to introduce yourself and introduce your team.
Yeah, of course. Good evening, everybody. Really good to be on. Thanks for having us on, Phil and Jenny. So my name is Mike. I am the Sales and Purchasing Director. So oversee basically all of the ins and outs in terms of products and all the commercial kind of side of the business. And I'm joined by Nathan on my right. Nathan is your dedicated account manager.
Sure am.
Yeah,
I've been at Spire for about 5 years now, and I've got quite a lot of customers that are in the tech space. I deal with quite a lot of a varied sort of range of types of customers and e-tailers and independents alike. So yeah, good to be here.
And to my left is Paul.
I'm Paul. Hi, I'm the sales manager, so I look after the day-to-day kind of running of the sales team, which is about 18 strong at the moment. So yeah, a strong sales team. So I'm fortunate enough to look after those guys.
Okay.
And in terms of Spire, we were formed in 1990. We were originally an Atari distributor back in the day. Moved into PC builds for a few years, and then saw that there was an opportunity for us to do a really good job in components, and so that has been our mainstay now for a very, very long time. A big focus for us is the independent channel. We were talking off air just before we went live about just how nuanced that channel is, and we've got a really good team. We've got a company staff of around about 70 in the staff, and the vast majority have been here for a very, very long time and understand how the channel works. We've got an average length of service of over 9 years in the sales team, which is pretty unusual in this industry, and we love it. We love it. I think I've just turned an adult officially in that I've been with Spire 18 years. So that's exciting. We distribute for a range of brands. The big hitters for us are people like Asus and Corsair, Norton, TP-Link, to name but a few, Be Quiet. And we've got some emerging brands in there as well. So hopefully a nice mix. But we're ready for either a grilling or a loving. Hopefully the latter.
Right, sounds pretty good. Let's quickly go through the chat then before we do the news, and then we'll kick on with the Q&A. So, guys, get your questions ready. If you do have any interesting questions for Mike and his team, feel free to send them through. You can ask them what they've had to eat this evening if you really wanted to. You can ask them about these new brands that might be getting in, about their event, what's coming up, and even our event, what they'll be attending as well. So
remember the challenge that I put in the group but a few days ago to try and think of a question that will baffle Mike Botto. So if you can do that, winner.
There we go. So let's have a look. So we've got Neo Computer saying evening everyone. We've got Dan Loud and Clear. We've got Mark Dennis as well saying evening all. Neo Computer says, does Nathan have his sleeping bag ready? I'm not sure what that bit's about, but okay. We got Ian Harden said, evening all, hope you're all well. Justin Hayes saying, now then. We've got Richard Creedy, Jenny needs to move the mic pot filter lower, covering half her face.
I'm just short.
You've got a goatee, actually. I was enjoying it. I nearly took a little picture on my phone here to send you because it looked a little bit like you had a goatee. It was a good look.
There you go. Yeah, I'm always trying to get her to reposition it, but there we go. We've got Will Mayer saying, hello, peeps. Hope everyone is well. And we've got Justin saying, when are the Vida Enterprise cases coming back?
The 8th.
So I'll let you answer that quickly before we go on to the news.
Yeah, the 8th of May.
The 8th of May. There you go. You heard it. So And we've got Richard saying hi, everyone. Right. Okay, let's go over to our news section, and then we'll do the Q&A. So think of some really interesting questions. We want to stumble them. We want to make them think. We want them to make mistakes as well, because that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Not just me making mistakes for a change. Right, let me get the screen share back up, if it's going to work this time. And Jen will go through the news with you.
Okay, we've had some more people to sign up since the last time we had a show. Quite a few at that. We've had on there Origin, Indify, Asus, Republic of Gaming, Smart DPK, Brigitannia, Hemdall, Cherry Extrafy, Buy It Direct, Norton, Cooler Master, Akasa, and Mobile Centrics. And a couple of these I want to talk about. We have as our main sponsor Target Components and their brands. The awards will be sponsored by Mobile Centrics, and we want to give a big round of applause to them. They're newcomers to TechMax, and they decided to take on the sponsorship for you. And the lanyards are sponsored by East Anglian Data Recover, that's EADR. Evening Meal is Valkyrie and Origin. Evening Drinks by Brigitannia. They're another newcomer to the group that has decided to take on a sponsorship. And to those newcomers, we really do appreciate you stepping up and going, yeah, sign us up for a sponsorship. We will have a gaming area at TechMax, compliments of Target PC build service, a huge gaming area dedicated for your enjoyment, brought to you by the people at Target.
Yeah. There's going to be 12 PCs set up there for obviously competitive gaming, so they're calling it the gaming arena, as well as a racing simulator there as well, so you can join in and obviously put your feet up for a few minutes, have a game while you're between talking to the vendors, which is pretty good. And there's still a lot more vendors we haven't announced yet. There is a lot more to announce, isn't there? So we're just waiting for some information back from them.
And the theme for the night is a salute to retro. All things retro is our entertainment for the evening. And when I say retro, I mean before we had little handheld gadgets and things to entertain us kind of games. So
Are you dressing as a Tiller girl, Jenny?
No, I'm going to leave that costume at home.
Yeah.
I might bring some leg warmers though for an 80s look.
There we go. Right, okay. Well, I don't think I'll be dressing up that much. It'll be a suit for me, isn't it?
I could just come in as normal and look 80s.
So there you go, guys. So there's lots obviously going off at TechMax, and it's basically 2 months away, so a day shy. So 59 days, and it's the actual event. So ticket sales are up as well. We're about a month ahead of ourselves on ticket sales compared to the last 2 years, which is good. So there should be more people there than ever. Talking about other things, what we've got going. If you've not signed up for the Geek for Me service, what we provide, it's just $4.99 a month. You get a 90-day free trial, so you can try it out. You can basically get yourself added onto the map, and basically when people are looking for, well, someone to repair the computer, laptop, phone, whatever it may be, they can, well, do that. It's a fully interactive map. You get the special landing pages, 20 dedicated to each of your businesses. To each business, you get 20 landing pages. Get it the right way around. We've got 100 people sign up already in the 2 months since we started it off, which is pretty good. And you can click on the information. It tells you all about whose ever stores they are and so forth. And again, that is $4.99 a month or 45 quid a year. So it's pretty good price, to be honest with you. And this is where a lot of our advertising will be aimed at later in the year from our YouTube channels, for example. So we'll be pointing them here. The adverts will be saying basically get your computer repaired and so forth. So at the moment, we just hit 170,000 YouTube subscribers. So that's 170,000 consumers who potentially may be wanting their computer fixed. So we're going to be pointing them there. And we've already started advertising on the likes of Facebook and different social media to get people to the channel. At the moment, it's gaining traction. It's growing by the last month. The growth was around about 20-25%. So I had about 2,000 visitors in the last month, and obviously, if it keeps on at that rate, it'll should keep ballooning as time goes by.
You know, in terms of value for money, that's cracking good.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
And that comes from the boss, so she's not biased at all.
I'm not. I will call it like I see it. I will call a spade if I think it's not worth a darn.
That's it. We also have our other package, which is our marketing one, which is the Tech for Techs Plus. You can sign up for that. So the pricing is a little bit more on that one because of all the different things what it comes with. It also includes the Geek for Me service as well. But you can download posters, movies, artwork, articles you can publish on social media or on your website, in emails and so forth, just to give you a rough idea. Here's some for the media. So you've got phone repairs, you can download the artwork, you can even edit it in Canva if you've got Canva, so you can make it your own, which is pretty good. And there's lots of different options in there. If I keep going, we're adding on 4 new pieces of content every month, if not more. Here's some of the documents. So you've got payment overdue notices there, new computer invoices, maintenance contracts, internet settings, you name it. There's lots of different things, even articles, essential tips for businesses, child safety, and you can share these with your customers as well. And then you've got the video section of things. I'll keep the sound off, but a mini one there about repairing phones. You've got a RIP for Windows 10 and so forth. There's quite a few different things. And again, a lot of these you can edit in Canva if you've got a Canva subscription. Some of them you can do on a free subscription as well. But that gives you a rough idea. So I'll finish that off, and hopefully the share screen should disappear now. Yeah, I thought we got rid of everyone else as well. Put them for a second. Right, okay, so let's get on with the chat. Let's get caught up, and then we'll go through the questions. So let's have a look. Hello. So, okay, so first of all, we've got Welsh Tech saying, book my hotel for the night before TechMax. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'll make sure to stop by everyone. Unfortunately, Welsh Tech, we've had to change the date of the event. No, I'm kidding. But there we go. So, yeah, so... let us know which hotel you got. If there's anyone else in your hotel, you could always have a gather up and have a beer together the night before and so forth. Should be good. But right, so we're going to talk about SPIRE now. So have we got any questions for SPIRE? Any sensible ones that don't involve sleeping bags anyway? So right, so I do have 1 or 2 questions what came in before the show, and some standard ones. And for some reason, our picture just disappeared. Can you hear us?
Flying to the moon.
Very weird. There we go. So that's technology for you. Okay, so right, let's start with the first question I got, and it's a pretty basic one. Is, do I need to be VAT registered to use SPIRE?
No, you don't.
Okay, that was a pretty simple answer.
We need to see that you genuinely trade. We're really hard and fast about being a trade-only distributor. We're really passionate about that. We are still ardently one of the only distributors in the channel that don't sell direct to customers on Amazon via one channel of their company or another. We just don't do that. So yeah, we're strictly trade only, and that's really important to us. So we will obviously want to verify that you are trade, but no, you don't need to be VAT registered.
Okay, that's a good start then. Second question, a nice one for you, nice easy one. Get it out of the way. Why should we use SPIRE instead of Amazon? You knew it was coming.
Okay, yeah. We can rinse and repeat the answers I've given for the last 3 years, guys, on this one. Okay, why shouldn't you use Amazon? So first and foremost, you're getting somebody on the end of the phone that is going to understand you as a business. Certainly, that's very much our intention. that's going to meet the needs of your business without you having to do a lot of the hard graft. So we do a lot of the heavy lifting over the phone with folks. We recommend products. We prioritize our customers and try and look after them as best we can in terms of when stock's running short, when prices are going up. Amazon don't give you the nod on that. We do. So we are, we're quite old-fashioned, I guess, really, in the terms of any distributor, in that we put so much focus and weight on the relationship with the account manager. So there's real emphasis on that. And more often than not, across the basket, we will be cheaper than Amazon too. So outside of being able to just kind of, and I'm guilty of it myself, buying stuff on a kind of, and these guys will vouch for this, the amount of stuff they see turn up from Amazon at the Spire HQ for me, I will quite regularly take advantage of buying stuff on almost a sell or return basis and chuck it back to them within 28 days. Outside of that, I don't really see a benefit in Amazon. Perhaps you're saving, if you've got to buy an SSD and you don't want to pay carriage and you've got Prime, I can see why you would do that. But really, across a basket, and if you're in the trade and you're doing regular day in day out business, I can't see how you would be using Amazon more than any distributor. But certainly in our case.
There we go. It looks like we've got a question come through in chat from Neo Computers. He says he really appreciates being able to have a chat with Nathan and take up so much of his time.
There you go.
One of my first customers have been doing business and chatting for years. We're good mates. So yeah, it's always a pleasure talking to Paul.
You can't do that on Amazon, can you?
And Paul and Siobhan, again, there's reference in the chat saying who ate all the sweets before accounts got some. They are very good, Paul and Siobhan, sending us occasional huge, great parcels of sweets, for which we are very, very grateful. Yeah. So the relationship definitely works both ways on that score.
Oh yeah.
That sounds pretty good. Right, has anyone else got any statements or questions for Spire? I've got another one. Again, it's to do with accounts. Do you have to have credit if you have an account with Spire? Because this person is basically saying he prefers to pay when he orders, as in, I'm guessing not cash in hand, but with a debit or credit card.
Yeah, you can absolutely pay up front. Yeah, you don't need a credit account with us. You can pay by backs, by card. In fact, that's probably the preferred method of payment for the first few orders with customers, and then we can get credit terms set up after that. But yeah, the choice is up to the customer.
Okay, and this is also from the same person. Again, they didn't say who they were, but they want to know if they applied for an account without credit, is there more chance of it getting approved than having an account with credit?
No, not at all. Not at all. If the product's being resold or being used, if someone's in the trade, they can have an account. It's as simple as that.
I want to know what this question is about this ring.
So
ring?
That was last year at Spire Live, Justin came along, and a couple of us have some Republic of Gamers Sovereign rings that we were very proudly showing off. This massive item. Yeah,
Very
a funny one.
Limited edition.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be careful when you put them on, so they don't like coming off. But
So does that mean that that's your precious?
oh yeah, that very much covers. Absolutely, but yeah, that's what that's referring to. In case you had any more.
Okay, I was worried to ask that question. I really was knowing where that was going to go. Okay, right. I think that answers that one. Let's have a look. Rich Creedy says, "I pay Spire as and when I order."
Thank you, Rich.
Do you want to read the next one?
Okay, where are we?
Neo, up top.
Oh, Neo. In terms of vendors, are there any new vendors on the horizon that could be added to our online portfolio?
Yes, very much so.
Just leave it there.
Yes.
Watch this space.
Yeah.
We're really excited. There are a handful of announcements that I would have loved to have, and actually until about lunchtime today, we were going to make some of them tonight, but they're a little bit delicate, so we're just working through the finer details. But we are actively looking to add to the SPIRE stable, and there's going to be there's some really exciting announcements on the way. So yeah, watch this space, and we'll get you guys at Tech for Techs, Phil and Jenny, to do a press release for us as soon as we're allowed to.
Absolutely.
That's fine. And if you want to do a live show with these people,
Yeah.
whoever they may be,
Yeah.
that's always on the books as well. If you want to read Ian's question.
Are you ever going to be able to get Antec, Thermaltake, and or Lee & products in? Another shout out for Nathan and the others. Good service, which I don't get at Amazon.
I'll tackle this just because this is bringing vendors in and out is probably my go-to. So we had Antec, and we work with Antec. We're very fond of the guys at Antec. Yeah, we worked with them for a long time. What we do have is an awful lot of case PSU and cooling vendors, and we had to rationalize our lineup last year. So we, with a heavy heart, called time on our relationship with Antec. But never say never, and the door's being kept open on both sides on that front. So with that in mind, yeah, Thermaltake and Lee, not at this moment in time, because we've only got so much warehouse space, and also we don't want to saturate. We are a specialist distributor, so we don't want to saturate any one category too much. And we've got half a dozen really good brands, the likes of Corsair, Fractal, help me out, Paul. Be Quiet, thank you, Vida. So yeah, we're really well set in that space at the moment.
And all of those brands you just mentioned have some really nice looking cases. I've seen them. Phil's done reviews for them, and they are really, really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Problem is you'll never get everything all at one place, because obviously some companies want to be exclusive to others, and obviously, as SPIRE says, there's only so much room in the warehouse as well, and you don't want them all fighting each other.
If you look at the two best-selling brands in the UK on case at this moment in time, they're Fractal and Corsair, and we have both of those, and we are their #1 distributor. So we're well set on that. Be Quiet, brilliant. We absolutely love working with them. And Vida as an emerging brand have been phenomenal. So we think we've got kind of a cover across the price range at this moment in time.
Yeah, and Vida's your own brand, correct?
Vida, yeah, it is. It's headed up by a guy called Rob Latham, who a number of you will know from his time at A1 previously. He is, if you've not met him, then he'll be at SPIRE. He'll be at SPIRE Live. He'll also be at TechMax. His passion for case and cooling is like something I've never seen or heard before, and he's doing a brilliant job in that space for us. And we love Vida. We love Rob. It's great.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Let's go back to the other questions we've got. So what's the turnaround time for setting up an account? And again, that's from the same person as before.
It should be pretty quick, really, within 24 hours. If it's just getting an account set up with us within 24 hours, it should be done. Yeah.
Sounds like this person really wants to open an account with you. I think the easiest thing is just go to their website and click new account. I think that'll probably get you most of your answers or most of the questions answered. And also, again, I'm not sure if this is the same person, but they want to know if you've got a minimum order requirement.
No, we don't. Absolutely not. You can buy a pen drive if you want to. I'm not sure that's the best use of your carriage charge, but if you need to, you can buy as little as a pen drive or a cable. No MOQ at all.
Okay, that's pretty good. Do you want to go on to Gadget Joe's question, John?
Yeah. He says, evening all. Sorry a little late, as been at daughter's parents' evening. Justin Hayes says, while you mentioned Vida, when the enterprise cases are coming back in.
Didn't we already ask that question?
Still
well, she says he knows the Vida cases.
Yeah.
And Gadget Joe says, what have I missed?
You should have seen it when Jenny tried on her Tiller Girl outfit and danced on the desk.
Yeah, that was a one-time show, wasn't it? And Ian says, cheers. I do buy a lot of Be Quiet, to be honest. Fractal, I'm getting back into as well. Used to be my go-to. Used a Vita for the first time last week and was good for the cost. Well, that's
Okay.
good to hear.
Is it a good value then? That's
I
good.
got Cooler Master when I was eulogising about our case brand. So yeah, shout out to Cooler Master as well.
Yeah, you can't forget the Cooler Master. There we go. Let's have a look. What else have we got? We've got, do you offer discounts for bulk orders?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, speak to your account manager. I would say if you've got a bulk order, a bigger than normal order, speak to your account manager and see what they can do to help. We've got the contacts as well with the brands as well, so it might be that the brands could be on board as well to support certain products, certain projects. Yeah, always ask.
And I think that's really key. I think whether it's for bulk or whether it's not, if what the major brands in particular are keen to do is to protect the pricing structure that's online. So if you're doing stuff that's offline, whether that be in a retail store or perhaps some builds for a project, maybe it's a public sector project you're working on, then more often than not there are opportunities for discount available, which we can tap into, as Paul says, via the vendors. But yeah, we've got basic price breaks as well when you're buying 20 off, 50 off. Those exist on our website already. But yeah, it comes back to that relationship with your account manager being really key.
Okay, I think that pretty much answers that question. I would suggest that anyone, obviously, if you're wanting better pricing or anything like that, is best to get to know your account manager anyway. So a lot of times you'll have a word with them and they'll do something a lot better than what's on the website. Obviously, depends on how much you order and so forth and different things. But the better the relationship you got, the more you probably flirt with Nathan, he'll probably give you more of a discount. So you never know. So I used to get told off for flirting with my account managers many years ago.
You sure did.
Nathan wasn't one of them. Always trying to get a better price. Right, we've got.
Phil, if I could just say, if you look at the price breaks on our website, or if you were to log into any of our competitors in distribution, you'll see that the price breaks, when you jump from a single to 20 off, more often than not, we're talking pennies, because, and I'm not expecting you to get your little violin out for us, but we run at, if you go to Company's House, you'll see the margin that we're all running at. We run at very low margin, so there isn't room for us to, siphon off a huge amount. Where you see the chunkiest discounts are when the vendors get involved, and they're able to pass stuff through at their end. So yeah. Okay,
looks pretty good. It looks like GP has got a lot to say, but we'll come to that in a few seconds, whoever that is. So Ian's saying that Cooler Master are really good. That's good. The Vita Edge Black looks nice, and that's from Welsh Tech. Sorry. GP is saying, let me get this on screen. There's one reseller, him using Facebook for selling stuff. Johnny probably tells me off. If
That's
I say
Jenny,
who,
not Johnny. Thank you.
Sorry, yeah, yes, Johnny. Okay. It's good they advertise, but bad thing they don't tell customers that computers are refurbished or secondhand. They use parts like 4th gen Intel. I think I know who they're talking about actually. They're using old stuff. They put it in new cases, eBay, and so forth. We see they use Vita products a lot, like power supplies and cases. You think it's your job to check your customers use your stuff in the right way and not trick people. We lose lots of sales for them, and repairs in. Basically, they're selling €6. Right, okay, let me narrow that down into a shorter thing. So basics is, it's come up quite a few times in Tech for Techs, and I've seen it all mentioned in other groups. There's a reseller at the moment who's advertising a lot on Facebook, and they're basically selling machines, which are old machines, put in new cases, probably a new power supply, and some of them are like 4th, 5th, 6th generation Intel processors, so they're like 10 years old. And they're selling them They don't mention the new, but they're not. They don't mention their second-hand or refurbished either.
No.
They're trying to pass them off as new without saying they're new.
They'll say
and-
something like, do you need a gaming rig, but you don't have the thousands of pounds that the other guys charge? Well, look no further. And we can build you a gaming rig for maybe 500 pounds. I'm just guessing right now. And they're not telling you that when they build it, they're pulling someone else's parts or things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what they're getting at anyway.
I think if it's a refurbished machine or it's got refurbished parts in it, I think they need to state that. I think they need to specify that.
Yeah,
I think that's the issue. What people are
that's
having with them.
everyone's gripe is
A
they
lot of
don't
people have
say
been
it.
contacting them, and I think they're surprised that like trading standards aren't picking them up because a lot of people are getting them in for repair and stuff like that. So obviously, the people spend £500-600 on this second-hand machine they think's new, and then it doesn't work and so forth. And I think from what they were saying, I've not looked into myself which brands of products they're using, but they were saying that we're using VD. They're probably using other brands as well from other suppliers. But
Richard Creedy says some have forced Windows 11 licenses as well.
Okay, so like some grey market licensing.
We wouldn't have that level of insight in terms of how people operate. It's very difficult for us to steward that kind of thing from where we're sat and doing our role, I think. But I'd be intrigued to hear more about it.
At the end of the day, it's not your job to play police. It's your job to sell things.
Yeah.
You're selling new components.
You want to sell the clean as well. So yeah, maybe that's something we can talk about off air. People have got more details. We can have a look.
At the end of the day, though, the distributor sells new things, and if it's refurbished, well, then they state it on their website or whatever. And
yeah, I mean, we sell a lot. We sell a lot to. Thank you, Justin. We sell a lot to people that do refurbs. It's a big market, and we don't apologise for that because there are some really good, reputable refurbers out there that are doing a good job. If there's somebody flying under the radar and maybe not playing by the rules, and that's a different thing, obviously.
Yeah, I'll have a word with you after the show or tomorrow, or whenever, regarding it and so forth. Because I know what I mean. I've turned the chat off on the side because there's someone spamming as well at the moment. So I'll just put.
We do have some
up.
legit.
So we've got one here from Justin.
Any summer promos in the pipeline with giveaway incentives? I need a paddleboard.
Go on.
I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, you're back.
Absolutely. Yeah. 7 days of summer. We've done it a few years in a row now. 4 or 5 years in a row?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be doing it again this year. Yeah. So I'm sure there'll be a paddleboard up for grabs at some point. Yeah,
we gave a hot tub away to somebody last year who lives in a flat. So that was. So 7 days of summer is our summer promo. It goes across the summer holidays, and for every Wednesday across the summer holidays, there's a day given over to a particular vendor. It's a 1 day promo day, and by spending money on the product, you get a ticket, and then we do the draw at the end of the day or the following morning and hand out the prize. So it's always a fun one. People tend to get involved, and we try and give away sort of summer themed prizes. So paddleboard may well be.
I tell Justin every 6 months when he brings this up, but it just got lost in the post about 3 years ago, and it's just bad luck, mate. That's basically it. Yeah, you've had a pizza oven out of me, so seems all right.
Did he win a pizza oven? Did he? Oh, okay, nice.
There you go. Sounds pretty good. Hot tub in a flat does well. It's a bit like when we've people have won competitions at TechMax before. I think the first year someone won a big gaming case, but they'd come on a plane. And last year someone actually won a big PC and they come on a motorbike, so they have to get it shipped. To them. So at least you could use it when you get home. Right. So we've got Ian saying.
I have raised it with Nathan previously. You may have done so already, but can you get a pay button on the account page to pay off a credit balance? If you have added one, ignore this. Nathan, and discount equals tight.
Never been asked that before. Good question.
It's certainly something we can look at. There's not one at the moment.
Oh.
But yeah, certainly something we can. I'll make a note and I'll have a chat tomorrow with the web team.
Okay.
That's good. Next question from Robert.
Going to make me cry, guys. Haha. It's my pleasure to work with such fantastic people at #1 distributor in the UK.
That is Rob from Vida.
Mr. Vida.
Mr. Vida.
Okay.
Mr.
I was going to say,
Vida.
you didn't actually say SPIRE. You
I was
didn't
fixing to say.
any specific distributor there, but yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got Ken saying,
Hi from Ken, Prince, and Duke. Well, hello, Mr. Ken and the royal family. I'm sure that Bond wants me to tell you all hello. So hello from him.
there you go. We've already gone through that one. So Justin, oh yes, we're talking about the Flintstones now. We'll get on with that.
Well,
So,
we'll just crack on and we'll just let you think what you want to.
Chief Inspector Mike Botto. There we go. Here's one from Gadget Joe.
Unfortunately, there will always be people like this. eBay is rife with them, stating the bare minimum details about specs, but using older i7 gaming rig, etc., but using 4th, 5th, and 6th gen. Yeah, I can believe that. From what I have seen in my days in the shop.
Yeah, we've seen it all over the years, I think. So there's nothing what surprises me these days. So Neo was asking,
Nathan, can I start off an AM order to be shipped on Wednesday?
Yeah, as always, absolutely.
We've got a question from Andy regarding Fractal.
Question about Fractal. Another distie has introduced the brand. Won't say their name, but they are often better priced. We'd rather use SPIRE. Does SPIRE offer a price match against other disties?
Okay. Well, I'm not aware of another distie that's officially been appointed recently, so that is news to me. What we can't do is promise a price match because, as I'm sure people will be aware, a lot of the stuff that we buy is bought over on container in dollars, and we buy at different FX rates. So, the swings that we've seen in the last few weeks, where it's gone from 1.24 to 1.34, that can make a big difference, as can the cost of containers. So, more often than not, there's not a lot in it, and if we can get close to it or beat it, we will have that chat with us, but we can't guarantee it by any means. Simply with that in mind.
But ask the question. Ask your account manager. If we can do it, we will do it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask. All you can do is say yes or no.
That's it. Yes. So it's always best to. That's why a good relationship with your account manager is always good.
Absolutely.
Quick statement from Richard.
Nothing wrong with refurbs if done properly. I can't agree more.
Were you about to say something then? Sorry, Mike.
Oh no, I was just going to say, in terms of Fractal, the share that we have in the UK as a Fractal distie is really, really high. So I'd be amazed. Yeah, it's very, very rare that we come up against issues on Fractal against anybody. So please do reach out to us and give us some detail around that. We'd be happy to follow it up.
There we go. Statement from Andy.
Also, a big shout out to Ben with his help with ASRock and our projects recently.
Great, yeah, ASRock. We've worked with ASRock for a very, very long time, and they're a great brand for us, and a brand that's really on the up. I think year on year, they were up 30% last year, and they're looking for a 50% increase this year, and they're on their way to doing that. So it's a brand with a real upward trajectory, and that's a nice shout out for Ben there as well. Yeah,
there we go. And also, Gadget Joe saying that he once won a £250 hairstylist pamper day once. If you know Gadget Joe, he's not got too much hair on his head, let's say. It's more of a beard. You never know, he could have used it for your beard.
You could have had one of those Turkish barber pamper days, Yeah,
there you go. So, here we go. So, Dan's saying, You can relate to that, Mike. Just had stock land at $1.21.
Yeah.
Ouch. Yeah, that's tough.
We feel your
That's
pain.
tough. Look, sometimes it goes in our favour, and sometimes it doesn't, and that's the gamble you take, I guess. Sometimes we'll try and revalue our stock to put it more in line with where the dollar rate is, but that's not always feasible if you've got multiple containers coming in at huge expense to revalue all of that and have it bang on the dollar rate. Is sometimes hugely expensive.
And the dollar rate is bouncing everywhere these days. It's just,
thank you,
without
Donald.
getting too political on things, it's
Yeah.
just turbulent.
Yeah.
And
There we go. We've also got Justin saying,
Mike should move into purchasing, can always buy a Botto dollar.
Thanks, Justin. Yeah, cheers.
Okay.
mate.
Okay.
So Welsh Tech saying ASRock's quality has been improving every year. If I'm right, ASRock, aren't they part of Azus? It used to be the budget brand of Azus, and because they've improved it that much, it's now near enough competing against each other. Am I wrong there? Or yeah,
they originally come out of the Azus stable, but they're very much their own company these days. And like I say, the numbers that we're seeing with them and that they're seeing globally, are really, really impressive. They're really making waves.
We used to use ASRock motherboards in the store.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Used a lot of the fatality ones.
Oh, me, I won't go into that one.
We had a few issues with that. Yeah, we did use a few.
Just the word fatality just says it all.
There we go. Right. Okay. So let's go on. Right. Do you guys have any exclusive brands or products that only you distribute?
That's a great question. We do. So we've referenced Vida quite a bit tonight already. So obviously that's a brand that we kind of own. So we do. Harmer, we're the exclusive disti for Harmer in the UK.
Harmer's the big one.
Harmer's been a really great brand for us. We took them on in terms of exclusivity last summer, and their range of products is crazy, from hose connectors to mobile phone pouches, all the way up to
Coffee filters.
I mean,
Really?
they've got 20,000 products in their catalogue. So we line up about 1,000, and their real play actually over the last few years for Harmer has been photography. So we've actually, because we've taken on exclusive distribution of the products in the UK, we're now partnering with quite a lot of photography stores as well as IT stores, and so that's opened a few doors there. And obviously there's a bit of crossover in terms of flash drives and memory cards and such like. So Harmer and Vida would be the two. I'm just trying to think, is there anybody else that we're exclusive on?
I'm trying to go through the.
I think everybody else we share with others.
Yeah, we probably do.
Okay, I think that answers that question then. We've got a question from Andy at Back to the Office Limited. Are there any plans for SPIRE to introduce PIN delivery for DPD deliveries direct to end users? We are seeing an increase in basically missing parcel claims, and this now forms a part of our decision making when choosing which distributor to use for direct to end user deliveries.
Okay, so in terms of DPD, our issues with DPD are so tiny. We've had some horror shows of company, I think back to the likes of CityLink back in the day, and there are some really bad couriers out there. DPD, I don't believe, are one of them. PIN delivery is difficult because if we look at 95% of our product, it is going to a business, and a business in some cases with hundreds of employees. PIN delivery just doesn't work in that case, and some of those businesses will be getting multiple deliveries from us in a day. So PIN delivery doesn't really work. If it's a one-size-fits-all approach, it just wouldn't work. It would be a logistical nightmare. What we don't do is allow for our goods to be signed for at any other address or left behind bins or left with neighbours. And whilst I understand there's frustration on that from some folk who are taking a feed or looking for dropship, we find that basically deals with the vast majority of problems. We don't see a huge amount of lost parcels, barely any, as a result of that as the kind of the happy medium between the two.
Well, if you know you're going to get a parcel that you need to be there for, you can always arrange for someone to be in. I mean, that's not very hard to do.
Okay. Also from Andy at Back to the Office, it says, Spire mentioned a few weeks back about being able to personalize the DPD delivery page with our own logo. So I'm guessing white labeling it. How much closer to this, to it being available?
So we're looking to roll it out within the next 2, maybe 3 weeks. We will how quickly we can bring on lots of different paperwork for different feeders, I don't know. I would like to think we can roll it out for anybody. But certainly we know that there are a couple of customers that we work sort of day in, day out with who have been asking for this for a long time, and we've invested in making that happen. So I think, that's going to be a transferable option for everybody. It's just how quickly we can roll that out. So best case scenario in a couple of weeks. But yeah, watch your space and keep in touch with your account manager. And if it's a real priority for the guys at Back to the Office, then we can look at that.
Okay. And last question from Back to the Office, unless they decide to log in and ask any more. We've heard before about how Spire can help resellers with physical stores, but we'd be interested in knowing if Spire can help online retailers other than stock feeds and direct end user deliveries.
I guess I'd like to know what sort of help he's looking for. If it's in terms of pricing, I kind of alluded to it earlier on in the show that the price support that comes from vendors isn't readily available for feeders because they're very keen on protecting the market price and the channel. So there are a very, very small number of e-tailers who the vendors will partner with on that basis and offer, back end support. It is a difficult one. We do loads for if you're taking physical stock and it's retail, the amount of support available to you is really strong. But yeah, on feed that is definitely more difficult because it would need to come from the vendor, and the vendors ordinarily are not keen to support people who aren't investing in their stock outright. Yeah.
Okay. We've got Neo Computers asking,
will this trade war be more beneficial to the UK market of computer components or more harmful?
Oh,
Wow.
will it be more harmful or will it be beneficial? I think I don't think stock supply is going to be an issue. I think for all of us, that have been in this industry a long time, we'll see pricing. We see pricing fluctuate all the time. RAM suddenly shoots up, and then RAM comes down, and GPUs go into shortage, so their prices go up, and then they come down, and hard drives, and so I think as long as we've got stock, the market in the UK is going to be the market. I don't think it's probably going to massively change things for us. I don't think it's going to massively impact retailers or resellers on a day-to-day individual basis.
I think it's more the strength of the pound against the dollar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than
I think if you were in the US, you might be one to go, we're going to have to make some provisions for what we buy and not buy frivolously, things like that, because they're the ones that's going to have to be coughing up more.
Yeah,
So.
I think it's one of those things with prices of stuff is everyone's got to remember is obviously if prices are going up for you, it's going up for your competition as well. So everyone's in the same boat, and unless someone's got lots of stock already in or something like that, it's not going to affect overall too much because everyone's prices will go up or they'll go down. So you just have to deal with the market as happens, basically. So I don't think there's a planning forward. There could be an earthquake or a volcano or something somewhere tomorrow, and the hard drive prices will go up threefold. And it
Well,
might
you
not be
remember when
anywhere.
the memory prices went out of whack? There was some sort of great disaster over in.
I can't remember which one it was now, but it's always happening.
But
yeah.
you know, we got through that and everything. So
I think the most seismic thing we've seen in the last few years was Brexit, and off the back of that, you know, there was a lot of panic around what that would mean, and we've all kind of come through it, and we found a way, and I think we'll find a way now. Rich Creedy's made a point about seeing better stock for the UK as manufacturers avoid the USA. I think there are certain brands in the Far East where there will be a sharper focus on Europe and in the UK. But make no mistake, the UK is a really, really important market for any of those brands, whether they be American or whether they be in the Far East. The UK is seen as a real stronghold of Europe in terms of tech. And whenever I go out to the likes of Computex over in Taiwan, they're always very, very keen to work with the UK. They hold it in really high regard, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. If anything, as Rich alludes to, it'll only get stronger.
Yeah, definitely good points there from everyone. Let's have a look. We've sort of covered this already, but someone wants to know: can you drop ship directly to customers?
Yeah, we certainly can. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think that's pretty straightforward.
Coming from us as well. But yeah, we can do that. We do that.
Is it a set price no matter how big the order is, or is it like dependent on the order?
It depends. Yeah, it depends on the order, depends on the size of the order, the weight of the order, and if it's going to mainland UK as well. So yeah, prices differ. So yeah, again, get in touch with your account manager and they can talk you through it.
Okay, and he's not on the show, I don't think, but he usually asks, so I'll ask it for him. Do you ship to Ireland?
Cormac.
Corby, you know we do. Yeah.
I'm not saying it is him or not, but someone asked that. But yeah. So I'm taking they have dealings with him. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I'm going to remain neutral.
Yeah. Well, you'll be able to see him in a couple of months. He'll be at TechMax. So
you know, I can't believe that it's just right around the corner, TechMax.
Yeah, it's only 2 months away. Flies by, and then we'll be planning it. Well, we're already planning next year's already, aren't we? But anyway, that's another story.
Never-ending story.
That's it. Right. Do you provide marketing materials or support, such as product images, banners, or promotional literature we can use on our website or in our store?
Yeah. When you guys want to take this?
Yeah, I think it's again, that's something to reach out to your account manager about. So we've got the relationships with the vendors to try and get this stuff. They tend to end up doing rounds of kind of focusing on POS at given times. So if you kind of express your interest that you want some stuff from TP-Link or whatever for a shop or anything like that, any brand really, we can keep an eye out for it when stuff becomes available. And yeah, just kind of keep you in mind. But yeah, always trying to help out with that kind of stuff.
Okay.
We've got a room downstairs that is chocker full of POS that gets sent in. We just need homes for it, and actually more and more we don't seem to get an awful lot of call for POS. So we'd be only too happy to have those conversations. And then there are brands who will look at bespoke offerings at POS for you, depending on how invested you want to be in their brand. So Harmer, I know, have got some incredible POS stuff that's really interactive with their various product sectors, but obviously it requires some investment from the reseller in terms of how much product they're willing to bring in return for that, so that the brands see a bit of a return on their investment. But yeah, we've got oodles of POS if people want some.
Okay, I've got a question. Who's dressing up this year at TechMax?
Not this guy.
That's a great question. I think it's Mike's turn. He hasn't done it yet.
No.
Mike hasn't done it yet, so I think this could be the year.
Well, it could be.
Could be Sausage Man Mike.
Sausage and chief, I reckon.
It could be, but I have a feeling it's not going to be.
Mind you, Rob hasn't done it either, has he?
Oh yes, Rob from Vida.
Maybe the wonderful Rob Latham from Vida. Maybe he could be our sausage this year.
He'd be a top sausage, you would.
Yeah, because that'd work out well because you could always send everyone to the sausage, basically. With lemon Gouda. There we go. Right, this conversation, if someone's just tuned in, I don't know. Here we go. So there's lots of comments on the chat. I'm not going to go through all of them regarding, obviously, the trade wars and so forth. But basically, some are saying it's good, others saying it's bad, and so forth. It's basically, we'll find out. So, right, guys, it's getting close to the end of the show.
Let us know if you have anything else to say.
Yeah,
Obviously.
I think SPIRE's been slightly stumped with one difficult question statement in the middle, but I think you pretty much covered it, to be honest with you. We'll have a word about it after the show. But if anyone has got any more interesting questions for Mike and his team, well, you've got about 3 minutes to send them in. So if you want to confuse him or say something nice about SPIRE, or even say something what they could potentially do better. That's always an interesting one because, well, if you don't know, you can't learn, can you? So, but yeah, so I think that covers most of those. I think most of the stuff's regarding price increases, what I've got there. Yeah, so, right, okay, so other questions I've got. Do you actively promote your resellers, and can we partner on joint marketing and promotional campaigns?
We don't, because we're not public facing. So no, we don't market to the public, and therefore we wouldn't be able to promote you. That wouldn't make sense. We'd just be promoting you to your competition, which you may or may not find out for. So no, we don't, there's plenty of ways that we do partner, but that's not one of them.
Okay, quite simple answer to that one. So
oh, sorry, Phil. I'm sorry, I'm doing this a lot tonight. But yeah, actually, one thing we can do is, a lot of these brands will have where to buy on their site. So there's little things like that in the way that the vendor can then promote you. So that is one that comes to mind, actually, that if you're investing in stock on a particular brand and you're consistent in that, then we can look at getting you added to the where to buy on their site.
Okay,
that's pretty good. The only catch I find with those ones is always find that whenever I go to these websites where to buy, you click where to buy, and the place doesn't sell the item what you're looking for anyway. So yeah, it's trying to keep things like that up to date can be a bit of a pain sometimes, I suppose.
Gadget Joe has a question.
Yeah, if you want to ask that one.
Random question about TechMax. I'm bringing my drone and gear. Is there a possibility of getting a big group aerial shot of all the vendors, etc., outside the building for promotional bit? Gadget Joe, I'm going to vote no for this one because once I get everybody inside and where they need to be, that's where I'd like to keep them.
Yeah, might be a bit hard. You might be able to get a few people together at like set times, but the problem is we can't get all the vendors outside all in one go and leave all the guests to all their products.
Yeah, that's just
and come back in and find that they've got nothing left. But best thing to do with any pictures or anything like that is obviously ask people beforehand. Also, you'll have to double check with the venue. If you send me a message, Gadget Joe, I'll double check with the venue that they allow drones on the property and stuff like that. I know there's certain rules and regulations for certain size drones and stuff.
Yeah, I would also discourage a drone inside, as I know.
Yeah, I won't go inside. Yeah, obviously.
I just wanted to say that because,
yeah,
that,
yeah, I'll be the first one to get my head chopped off. So.
My brother had a drone from my little nephew for Christmas one year, and he didn't have it hooked up just right. And like most men, he did not read the instructions before operating. And, it went higher than the trees and it went miles away, we thought. And we're thinking, oh God, all is lost. But the direction it last took went over the golf course in my hometown. And Phil says, I'm going to go and look for it. Well, the next morning, there it is, propped up against a tree. Phil comes home, bringing home the drone that everyone had given up on. And Christmas, for my nephew.
Yeah. But
Uncle Phil.
having drones flying around inside of the
No. No, not when they
Right.
can go higher than trees. No.
Okay, got one question for you. It's regarding warranties. So, with warranties, do we return to you or the vendors, or does it depend on the brand? We know we now actively only buy products that we can return to the distributor, as we don't have time messing around with 100 different ways of returning a product, then waiting weeks or months for a reply and forgetting who we've sent it to in the first place.
Yeah. So okay. So this is a really good question, and Nathan has been nagging me since last week because he came and saw me because there's been a post actually in the Facebook group about a list of warranties and how they work. So we're going to pull that together so that we can publish it in the group so you guys know. I think nobody had responded at that point, have they? So we'll publish that. And then you can buy knowing what you're getting into. There are certain brands, if you look at ASRock and Asus, ASRock are cheaper than Asus, but there are some things that you pass up as a result of that saving. And one of those is that you're going to get a repair sent back rather than a brand new or a credit. So yeah, I think transparency is really, really key. And then you know what you're getting yourselves into, and you can make a decision off the back of that. So we'll get that list up in the group over the next day or two, so that you've got that and can understand it fully.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. And the last of the questions what came in. Okay, so pretty straight one. As you're coming to TechMax this year, will you be showing off anything specific? Nice specific question for you.
Well, Rob in a sausage suit, we've established that, I think.
Yeah. I think we haven't really fully planned it yet, have we?
We haven't, and I know that's really poor, guys. It's not that we're not excited about it, but I think we tend to try and get we've got so many brands that we work with. We try to make sure that we have some of that product on show because it prompts conversation and reminds folk of what we do. But I think there are a couple of the newer brands that we're working with that we'd really like to showcase, and that'll be quite fun to showcase. So we'll be looking at that. And Vida are coming. Rob's coming as Vida, and he's got his own table. So all of the Vida products will be on display, and he'll be super passionate and talking you through it all.
Yeah. Before I forget, I need a logo and description for that then.
Yes. Of course.
And then it were brands you decided to bring, which I don't know about. So, right, let's quickly go through the chat before we call it a night. Have I missed anything, Jan?
No, I don't think so.
I think it's mainly banter, I think. Let's just have a look. More brands coming to the UK. Just quickly going. Random question, TechMax. Few statements. There we go. I think we've got most of it. Yes. Right. Okay. Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered all that. So, right, Spire, is there anything you would like to add to the end of the show?
No. I think for me, no. Just thank you very much for having us on.
Yeah. This is a great community. We've been delighted to be a part of what you guys are doing for some time now, and we really appreciate you coming on and getting feedback is huge for us. An evening like this where we can hear from people, they don't come on very often. It's gold for us. So if people have got thoughts off the back of tonight, then please reach out, and that allows us just to harness what we're doing and make sure that it's working for you as the reseller community.
There we go. And if you guys haven't used Spire before and you want to check out the products, the web address is at the bottom of the screen. It's www.spire.co.uk. So that's spire.co.uk. So it should be pretty straightforward for you. Right, guys, I'm going to leave you with one last question before we call it a night. Nice, simple one. Why should we buy from Spire rather than any of the other distributors?
It's personal touch. I think it's that relationship we talked about with your account manager taking an interest in you and your company and trying to grow together. What's best for you and your company. And it's literally that straightforward, as Mike alluded to earlier. It's the old-fashioned approach. You know, we're not Amazon, and we want to keep it that way, basically.
I
So
think,
in basics, what you're saying is that your customers get a better special relationship with you, Nathan.
All my customers get a special relationship.
I didn't like special relationship. That
That scared me right there, Mike.
So everyone's going to be chatting you up tomorrow.
So well.
we've got a staff handbook that covers that. Look, there are some really good distributors out there, and we're just one of them. And I would just encourage you, if you've not tried us, then to give us a whirl. And I think the vast majority of people that do work with us enjoy that and keep coming back. But I'm certainly not arrogant enough to say that we're the only distributor folks should be using over others. And of course, our product lineup is different. You know, what we can only have so many brands, and so can the others. So if you like the brands that we've got and you like the service you're getting, then yeah, you'll buy from us. But yeah, give us a chance if you haven't already. We'd love to work with you.
Yeah.
Right then.
I was just going to say, if you haven't tried SPIRE, and I'm not being biased here by saying this, do. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. When we had our store, we used SPIRE, and we continue to use SPIRE. There's enough in the channel to go around with everybody. And I'm sure that they have something that you need, and give them a try.
Yeah, definitely. And also, it's always good to use, obviously, companies you can see and use, and hopefully pay the taxes, unlike some big companies that will not be mentioned, which go from A to Z. But there we go. Right, guys, we'll leave it there. Mike and team, if you just stay on after the end credits, and we'll have a quick chat with you before we go any further. Everyone who has watched tonight, thank you again. Thanks for very much for joining us. We've got lots of shows coming up over the next few weeks, especially with TechMax coming up. So we'll go over those a bit more and post about them. They're sort of changing on a daily basis as different vendors and stuff decide what they want to do and so on. But we'll definitely have quite a few coming up. So thanks again. And again, obviously, thanks again for SPIRE for taking part. So I'll leave you all with that. And obviously, we'll see you all in, 2 months' time if we don't see you before. So it's not long now till TechMax. And talking about TechMax,